ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नेहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामे गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, verse number 29. So we've been reading the childhood pastimes of Sri Krishna, and we read that how he was going around stealing butter with his friends. So this is, then the gopis, they came and they complained to Yashoda because it was said that Yashoda was not able to see these pastimes of Krishna. So they wanted her also to relish this. Therefore they came and complained to her. So in this verse 29, this is the complaint of the gopis to Mother Yashoda. So Vatsan munchan kvachid asamaye krosha sanjata hasaha steyam svadu atyathaidadhipaya kalpitai steya yogai markan bhokshan vibhajati sa chennasti bhandam bhinatti द्रव्यालाभे सगृह कुपितो याति उपक्रोश्यतो कान. So this is the list of complaints There are some people who like to complain. There are different types of people in this world. So one type of person is called complainer. No matter what, he will complain. If it is not raining, oh, there is no rain. What is this? If it rains, what is this? There is no sun. It is cold, it's too cold. If it is hot, too hot. So there is always complaint. So the gopis are also complaining now. But they are relishing to complain. So they are relishing what Krishna is doing, and then they are relishing by talking about it. So that is called kirtan. So they are saying that Vatsan munchan kvachida samaye krosha sanjata hasa. That what Krishna does is that he wants to steal the butter. So the men have gone outside with the cows. The calves stay at home, the small ones, because they are too small to go out. And they are tied. And the ladies are inside the home. So how can you steal if the owner is in the house? So either the owner has to be put to sleep. So that's why thieves come at night. Or the owner has to go out and then they come and steal. It's like, as I heard this story in Lithuania, that Vidya's neighbor, so she had her, they call that oven for cooking, when they fry barbecue. So her barbecue was missing, because it was usually they keep it in the backyard. And after 2 days, some people came and they gave it to her. He says, well, we needed it and you are not there, so we just took it. And we are sorry, but we thank you so much. And just for compensating, we have bought this ticket for you and your whole family for a movie. So they said, oh, no problem, it's fine, that's okay. It was just lying there. So they gave the ticket for the movie to the whole family and then they left. And then that day they went for the movie. When they went for movie, obviously you have to go a little early and you cannot, because movies are whatever, 2 hours, 3 hours. So they came with a big truck and they loaded everything from the house. And people saw, but who knows, people, this is what happens in modern times. Maybe they thought they are moving and they hired people to load, because in the West they do that if you move, which many people have to do because of the job change or whatever. So they dumped everything from the house because they broke from the back side. They went inside and took everything away, and these people are watching movie happily. So when they came back, everything was cleaned up except for the barbecue. So this trick is also being played by Krishna. It's an old trick. So this is what he is doing, that Vatsan munchan kvachida samaye krosajan sanjata hasa, that when it is not time for the calves to be released, so what Krishna does is that he comes quietly and unties the calves. And calves, as you have seen, that they like to run around. The bigger cows, they sit quietly, they don't run, they are too lazy to run. But the calves, they have energy like children, So as soon as they release, they run. So when the house owner, the ladies, they see, oh, what happened, the cow got released, so they run behind them to catch them. And you cannot catch them easily. So that time he goes inside and he steals. So this is the trick. So therefore it says Vatsan Munchan, that releasing the cows, Kochidasame, when it is not time for, calves are released only when they have to milk the cows, not other time. And then when we get angry at him, why you did this? Then he laughs at us. Because they don't know that he has also done something inside. So he is happy that you will see why I did it. So therefore it says Krosha Sanjata Hasa. Steyam Swadu Atti Yath Dadipaya Kalpitai Steya Yogai. So in this way he devised various types of techniques. This is called Steya Yoga. You may have heard various types of yoga, right? But this is the yoga which Krishna does. He is called Yogeshwara, right? He is master of the yoga. So the yoga which Krishna performs is called Steya Yoga. So yoga also has various meanings. One meaning of yoga is called Upaya. Yoga means a means. Because yoga means by which you reach your destination, to unite, try to unite with your goal, that is yoga, that is also the means or the process. So therefore steya is the means for him. This releasing the calf is a means, that is the steya yoga. So in this way he devises various means for stealing. So you see, he is clever from childhood. It is not that he grew up and then he became smart. He was born smart. So high IQ. So Kalpitai Steya Yoga. He devises Steya Yoga. And Steyam Swadua Attiyatha. And then Steyam means what is stolen, the booty. So he eats that, he relishes it. So you can eat food at your home, but if you steal, that has a special taste in it. Maybe the same thing. But when it is stolen, it develops extra taste. So that's why it says Teyam Swadu Attiyatha. Because there is nothing special in the house of all these people which is not in his house. Whatever is available in his house, milk, yogurt, butter, ghee, maybe some laddus, that is also available here, there. But here, it is more tasty. So why it is more tasty? Because you have done extra effort. At home you get it without asking. So when you earn something, then it has a special taste. Then you relish it more. So therefore he Swadu Atti Dadhipaya. So what is it? Dadhipaya. It's yogurt, milk, and other things made from milk. Maybe some peda, barfi, some sweets, milk sweets. But no paneer, no cheese. You are not making cheese. If you can make some rabdi, why make cheese? Which is more tasty, cheese or rabdi? So then why not make that? So Markan Bhokshan Vibhachati sa Sache Nati Bhandam Bhinati. Then when his belly is full, after all you have a limit of eating, so he then also distributes it to the monkeys. So it is not that monkeys are here now, they have been there since Krishna's time. Monkey means So where is Anand Mohan? They ate up his cable. So if they don't get butter, they eat your cable. And Krishna is giving them butter, and there is no need of eating anything else. So Markan Bhokshan Vibhajati Sa. So then what he does is that he distributes it to the monkeys. First he eats, then he gives prasad. So these are lucky monkeys, they are eating Krishna prasad. And then monkeys also, they are already full, so they don't eat. So then he breaks the pot. He says, this is useless. Even monkeys are not eating. Why are you storing it? If something even monkey does not eat, so you think human beings will eat it? And if they eat, they will become sick. So what he does is, he breaks them. So bhandam bhinatti. So he is doing favor to the family members so that they don't fall sick by eating, which is maybe stale, lost its taste, maybe it is spoiled, because monkeys don't eat. So therefore he breaks it. So dravya labh hai sagriha kupito yati upkrosha tokan. And if he does not get what he wants, dravya labhe, so then he becomes angry at the house ladies and the people of houses. What are these useless people? Even the mouse are doing fast here. What they say, church mouse, right? So he says, this is like a church mouse here, there's nothing worth eating. And then, since he is upset, the babies who are sleeping, then he goes and pinches them so that they cry. So yati upkrosya tokan. So he, while leaving the house, he goes and pinches the babies, and the babies start crying. And then he becomes more happy. Then he goes out. So this is what Krishna is doing. Can you imagine that he can be God? Can anyone think that God will be somebody like this? People think God is serious old man sitting peacefully. So this is not any problem. Okay, so there is a commentary here. So Sakhi Yasode Shrinu Swaputrasya Chaurya Chaturya. So they are saying that, dear Yashoda, please listen to the expertise of your son. So someone says and comes and tells that your son is very expert. How would you feel? Good, right? But say no, expert in stealing. You have to also look at the qualifier. So he is expert, people will immediately become very happy. That, oh, my son is expert. Your son is very expert. Expert in what? In stealing. So he said Chaurya Chaturya. So listen to his expertise in stealing. So Vatsaniti Etat Puroadya Shunya Griheshu Dadhi Chaurayami iti mansi kritva gatva grihan jan sunyam chikirshu kvachid divase asamaye adoha kale vatsan munchan bhavati. So he says that this boy who is now sitting in front of you nicely, so he goes Sunya Grihesu Dadhu Choryami. So he leaves the house with the sankalpa, with the intention that I will go in the house in which there are no human being, Sunya, Nirjana, empty house, and I will steal yogurt. So thinking like this, he goes to various houses. And then, of course, there are people in the house, because in India, in the villages, nobody puts locks. Even now, if you go to villages, like you have been to Lakut's village, houses are just open. You can just walk in anybody's house. So, but there are people inside. So how will you steal? So therefore, he says that Jan Shunyas Chikirshu, he wants to make sure that there is nobody in the house. So then what he does, Kvachid Devase Asamay. So in the daytime, because you release the calves in the morning and in the evening, that is when time for milking the cows. And daytime they remain tied. So those who do Go Seva, please learn. This is how you have to keep. So asamaye adoha kale. So untimely, when it is not time for milking the cows, so then what he does is Vatsan Munchan Bhavati. Then he goes and quietly releases them from the rope. They're tied to the rope. And tatas cheta tatas cha itas tato dhavato vatsan paravarte tum tadanupadam grihan nishritya janesu dhavatsu shunya grihan pravishya dadhi choritva palayate iti bhava. So then when the people in the house, they see that their calves are running here and there, they want to bring them back. So they run behind them. Anupadam, Grihat Nirshita, coming out of the house, they run after the calves. So when they run after the calves, then he gets the time to go inside the house and steal. So that's how he does that. And then he runs away. So by the time they come back, he is gone. So he is quick. Because before he does that, he already sends his people to find out who is having what in the house and where it is located. Because good thieves, they do that. They first find out where is the money. People generally, or some golden ornaments, or sometimes they ask where is the gold. Better keep it safe. I will tell you how to keep it safe. So this is how they see. And then he steals and he runs away. Right? Kamala's mother got tricked like that. When she went out to market, and when she was coming up, one man followed. And she says, you know what is happening these days? People are coming and stealing. You better make sure that your gold is in a safe place. And he entered in the house with her. And the poor lady did not understand. She immediately went to see where she is keeping the ornaments. And then she said, no. So she says, okay, that's very good that it's not stolen, because I heard many thefts have happened. And can you please make cup of coffee for me? And she said, yeah, you sit down. So she went in the kitchen to make the coffee, and he went to get it. By the time she came with the coffee, he was gone. So this is called Steya Yoga. Yeah, these are tricks. Sonyasmi nahani are dadhi chora Krishna agata stadyatam nayatam ityadi akroshe kroshe akroshe krite sati sanjata haso bhav. Then next day when he comes, then people shout, the ladies shout, oh, here comes the thief, here comes the thief, catch him, beat him up, tie him up. So when they are making this krosha, shouting, or akrosha, they are angry, then he laughs, because they cannot catch him. He is faster than the calves. At least calves, they don't run away too much far away from the house. Even if they run around the house only. but he is going to run away. So therefore they come, tadyatam, beat him up, nayatam, bind him up. Right? That's what, if you catch a thief, that's what people do. Right? Beat him up and tie him up and call the police. So he says, beat him up first before the police comes. People are upset, so they want to get their anger out. So first they thrash him, then they tie him, then they call the police. So he says, first slap him a few times, then tie him, then we'll call Nanda Maharaj. That look, this is what your son is doing. But Krishna is too smart for that. So he runs away. Not only runs away, he laughs at them. He makes fun, he ridicules them. Oh, you are going to catch me? Okay. So atha tadanantaram eva mahamadka hasya madhupan vyavashyena jadi bhutasu asmashu pashyantishu api nishedhum aparyantishu dadhipayo atti. So he says that then he stands there, he laughs. And his laugh has got one special characteristic, that it is mahamadaka. It is highly intoxicating. So when we see him smiling and laughing, then we become intoxicated. And we become so intoxicated that we go on drinking it and we become helpless. We are unable to move. We become completely jadi bhuta. Right? This is one of the bhavas, sattvic bhavas, stambhanam. So they have so much love for Krishna and he is happy that that's what they want to see. So they become completely jadi bhuta, stambhan. They cannot move. So they are enjoying. Then he goes inside and he starts eating. So this is his another trick. So his smile is a killer. So pashyanto shivapi nishedhum aparyantishu dadhipayo atti. So although we are seeing and we are saying, no, don't do this, he doesn't stop. He goes and he eats. Tatraiva ushitva bhunkte. And it's not that he takes and he runs away, he sits down there and he eats peacefully. Because when it's time to eat, you should eat in a peaceful mind. You should not eat when you are in angry mood, you are in anxiety, you are in a hurry. No. Be peaceful. So he sits down, he's not in a hurry or anything. So he eats happily. Tatraiva ushitva bhunkte napi palayate. He does not run away. Why is that? Asmakam mohini kritatvat iti bhava. Because he has mohini krita. He has like, what do you call? What is the word? Mesmerized. He mesmerizes us with his smile and the way he is eating happily. So we get completely mesmerized. And then we just look at him and he is eating happily. So he is giving them the pleasure to see him eating. Nanu evam che dadhi lampatam imam pratmameva udarpuram katham na bhojyadhve tatra tvaya bhikshnam bhojita asya na bubukshadikam kintu steyam tena karmeva swadu atas choritam eva dadhyadikam asmai rochate tu dattam iti bhava. So then Yashoda says that if he likes this butter and milk and this, so why not let him eat to his fill? Then he will not steal. After all, you don't have any shortage of butter or milk or anything. So let him eat. He is eating here, but if he wants, if he is a dadhi lampata, lampata means lusty. If he is so lusty for yogurt and for butter, then give him and let him completely fill his belly, then he will not steal. So he says, no, that's not true. Tatra tvaya bhikshnam bhojitasya syana bubakshadikam. So when he is eaten like this, then he will not have the hunger. Kintu steyam tena karmeva swadu. So he says that you have already fed him so nicely, he does not have hunger. What he enjoys is stealing. What he steals, that is tasty to him. That he loves. So although he does not have hunger, just like your stomach is full, but you get some nice sweet, so then you still eat it. Some good chocolate piece is coming, or ice cream. So all the stomach is full, but you still go for it. So this stolen butter is like chocolate to him. So he eats that. So therefore it says, tena karma eva swadu. So, atas choritam eva dadhyadikam asmai rochate natu dattam iti bhava. So the meaning is that only that yogurt and butter are tasty to him, or he likes, which he steals. If we give him, that has no taste for him. He is not interested in that. So he loves only what he steals. So that is in his genes, stealing. That is why it's called makhan chor. So tadevam paroksham aparoksham chaiti dvividham choryam vatsamochanam hasabhyam gyapitam. So in this way they complain to him that there are two ways he steals. One, he steals paroksham, means in the absence of the owners or the gopis, and one he steals right in front of them. So means he steals anyway. Generally a thief will steal when the person is not there, the owner is not there. So he says he steals even when we are there. He is so good at it. That is the meaning of Steya Yoga. That when we are there, then he throws his smile at us. And the smile goes for miles. So then paroksham and aparoksham, dvividham choryam, and vatsamochanam and hasabhyam. So what are those two techniques? One is that he releases the calves, another is the smile. Two ways. Evam kalpitaihi swabuddhya eva rachitaihi steya yogais chaurya upair aparairapi loshtra kshepadibhir asmin parasmin api dine bhokshan bhojnat purvam eva markan markatan prati vibhasti. So he says in this way there are other means also he applies. Sometimes what he does is that he throws some stone piece at the pot, breaks it, and then he distributes it bhojnat purvam eva markan markatan prati. Even before he eats himself, he gives it to the monkeys. Ayam bhavtam pratekam bhagam iti vibhajya dadati. So he divides it. All the monkeys are saying, say, okay, this is your part, this is your part, this is your part. So he makes parts for each one of them. So बहुत्र भोजितत्वेन अतितृप्तत्वात् तेषां मध्ये स एकोऽपि मर्कटो नास्ति चेत् तदा युष्मान् विना किं मे भोजनेन अहमपि न भुञ्जे इति दुःखेन भाण्डं दधिपूर्णं भिन्नति. And if he gives them so much butter that if some monkey gets full and he says, no, I don't want more, then he says, oh, you are not eating, then he feels bad. And he says, look, you are not eating, so I will also not eat. And then he breaks the pot. So this is not good. You are not eating, I also don't eat. कदाचित शून्य गृहे प्रविश्य इन्वर्टर नहीं है.
Now it's there.
So why you didn't put it there?
I put it in the wrong power.
Okay. So then he says that sometimes he enters in a house where there is nobody, and then if he finds nothing to eat or nothing to eat what he likes, so then what does he do? He becomes angry at the house people. There is nobody there, but he becomes angry and he says, okay, I will see. Tomorrow I will come and I will bring a firebrand and I'll burn your house and burn everybody. What is this? I come to your house and there is nothing to eat. So he becomes angry. Grihitva eva chorayartham eshyami. He says, tomorrow I will come for stealing, and if I don't find anything to steal, then I will put fire to your house and I'll burn everybody, including the children and old people. So you better keep something for me. So dakshami iti uktva tokan balapathyadin upkrusya nakhadi aghatena roditvayati. So saying like this, he goes to the sleeping children, sleeping babies, and he pinches them with his nails until they start crying. And when they're crying, then only he leaves them. Then he goes away. So how can this person be God? Tell me now. Okay, next sloka. हस्ताग्राह्य रचति विधिं पीठकोलु खलाद्यै छिद्रं हि अन्तर्निहितवयुना शिक्य भाण्डेषु तद्वित् ध्वान्तागारे धृतमणिगणं स्वाङ्गमर्थं प्रदीपं काले गोप्यो यर्हि गृहे कृत्येषु व्यग्रचित्ता. So now what happens when he cannot? Thus, in the olden days, it was tradition in the villages that they used to have these rafters, because as I said, in the villages houses are always open, so dogs, cats can enter and they can eat. So what they do is that they hang the milk, yogurt, ghee from ropes from the roof. So that is called chika in Hindi. Here in Sanskrit it's called Shikya, but in Chika. So that is the Hindi word used. I'm sure now no one will understand the meaning of it. At least in the cities, what is Chika, but it is actually coming from Shikya, this word. Shikya bhandeshu tadvit. So Shikya bhand means the pot which is hanging from the rope. And they hang it high, so cat, etc., or mouse, because everything is open, there can be mouse, there can be other beings, so they cannot reach it. Right? That is the story of Kopin Hitopdesh about the rat. So he says, Hasta agrahye. If something where his hand cannot reach, then what does he do? Rachyati vidhim pithako lukhaladhi. So he finds means how to reach it. That he will take a stool, pidha. In the village language, they are called pidhas. It's coming from the Sanskrit word pitha or pithika. They are small things with 4 legs, having ropes in them. It was common, people used to sit on them. So he takes them and he stacks them one on top of other. Or he takes the mortar for husking and he climbs on that and then he takes it out. That's why in Maharashtra, especially in Mumbai, they have that big festival on Krishna Janmashtami, right? They go climb up, they make it really high. I don't know.
They have money and curd and everything in that pot.
Yeah.
It's tied with a rope in 2 buildings and they climb up.
It's really high, right? So they make it very high. So it's coming from here. This is the source, because Krishna was also doing that. He will go with his team and the other children will stand and more and he will climb on top of that and get the butter. So this is called Rachyati vidhim pithako lukhaladhyayi. So pithaka lukhala are children. Chidram hi antar nihit vayuna, and then he will make a hole in it. Chidram. Make everyone eat it. Antar nihit vayuna shikya bhandeshu tatvit. And he has knowledge. Vayuna means knowledge of which pot has got what in it. So Sikya Bhandeshu Tadvit. Tadvit means Tadveta. He knows that. And obviously there is no electricity in those days. So houses, especially the inner part of the house, they used to make without any window or anything for protection. So it used to be very dark. The front part has light because it is open, but the back part where they store things, it will be purely dark. So it says Dhvanta Gare Dhritmani Ganam Swangam Artham Pradipam. So how does he find it there? He goes into the dark room, but he has got all this jewelry and they light up. So they are like the lamp Swangam Artham. His own bodily limbs act like lamp because he is so nice, shiny. So he throws light and then he sees where is what. And Kale Gopyo Yari Griha Krityesu Vagrachitta. So he does this when gopis are busy doing their work. They are not there all the time sitting guarding. So when they are busy doing something, then he enters into the dark room and he eats and runs away. So this is another trick he plays. So kasminchid anyasmin grihe pravishta san haste na grihitum ashakye dadi bhandam vidhim upayam rasti. So similarly he enters in someone else's house and things which he cannot approach by his hand, which are too high, so then he finds means how to reach there. Upari upare nihita dvitri pitha arohane nava ulukhala arohane nava balla skandha arohane nava ityartha. So either he will stack up the stools, or he will take the ulukhala, the mortar, and climb on them, or he will climb on the shoulders of children. He will make 3 or 4 children stand together, holding each other's hands or waist by hand, and then he climbs on top of them, and then he steals. So atitunga shikyavarti bhandeshu antarnihite dadhyadav vainam jnanam yasyase. Even those parts which are hanging very high up, he knows what is inside the pot. So how does he know? Bhan chakkanyada darshne naivete. He said just by seeing the outside look of the pot, he can see. Because if it has yogurt, then some little bit of moisture will be outside, right? If it has butter, then it will be greasy outside. Yes? If you put yogurt in a pot, then you will see outside it will be moisture. And if it has butter, then it will be unctuous and soft. So he understands what is inside just by seeing the outside. He feels the pulse of the pot. So, avropetum ashaktah sasalya lagudena chidram rachayati tadvit chidram kartum chidrena dharam patitum dharaya cha vyadatum swasya balanam cha mukham piritum vetti. So, if the pot is too high, if it is not very high, he reaches and he takes out the pot. But if it is high, he cannot take out the pot, then he takes a stick and he makes a hole in it. And then he makes a hole, then it starts falling down, then he opens his mouth. And he tells all the children that, okay, stand in the queue, come one by one and take your turn. So then all of them, vyadatum means opening the mouth, swasya, his own, balanam cha mukham puriyatum vetti. So he says he knows this, that is the meaning of tadvit, that he knows how to eat from the pot if you cannot take the pot down. So nacha andhakare pi chaurya asamarthyam, and it's not that he cannot steal in the dark. So there was no torchlight in those days, but he has his own torchlight. So he carries with, like, in this torchlight, in Hindi, the Hindi word for torchlight is Chor Deepa. Yeah, you know torchlight, what is called in Hindi? It's called Chor Deepa, means the lamp for the thieves. Because it was designed by thieves. So Krishna has a torchlight which he hangs in his neck. He has the Kaustubha gem. It shines, Kaustubha Mani. So with the light of Kaustubha Mani, he can see even in the dark. Dhvanta yukta agare swangam sviya samangam api artha pradipam rachayati. So first of all, his own bodily limbs itself, they are like lamps. Tatrapi dhritmani ganamiti kimapi aviditam natishtati. And on top of that, he has the gems in his neck, in his ears, in his arms. And with that he can see. So he says this is how he steals. So he is well equipped for stealing. He is born to steal. So katham savdhana natishthadeti chet tatra. So then Yasoda says that why you don't remain attentive and guard your house. So he says, well, Kale, he knows when we do what. I mean, we are not just going to sit there all the time and protect. So he understands. Yadyapi asya smita kalabhashana madhura chalana gatra lavanyadi mayeva prataksha chaurya nispadini mohini vidya eva asti tadapi balya mogdhavashat paroksha chaurya priya eva so buddhyate iti ateva kakutra kim kurute iti bala sahachar preshanadina pratikshana manusandhatte iti bhava. So he says that he has a mohini vidya. He has a mesmerizing art. He knows the art to hypnotize. And therefore he can steal even in our presence. So by his smile, by his sweet words, the way he walks, the way he looks. So these are all hypnotizing, mesmerizing. So he says that although he has got this art, this vidya to mesmerize us, to hypnotize us, but that is not very pleasing to him. He wants to steal. And therefore what he does is that he has his assistants. He has a whole group. He doesn't work himself. So he first sends them to houses. He says, find out what is this gopi doing now. So now they say, well, now she has just gone out with the cow dung to make cow, cakes. Because this is what gopis do. They have to pick up the cow dung and they have to make this kanda. Now this takes time to make kanda. It is not some 5-10 minutes job. It can take half an hour, 1 hour. So she will be busy doing that. So he says he figures it out who is doing what. And then he enters in the house when we are busy doing something. Somebody is grinding in another room. And when you grind, you are busy and it also makes sound. You have to make flour for making chapati, or they are cooking something in the kitchen, and he enters into other house. So he says that he has got people. So ka kutra kim kurute, which gopi is doing what at what time. He says that pratikshanam anusandhatte. He knows about every second who is doing what. So this is how good thieves are. They notice.
That's something to share.
Now you can share. If you have some other trick to add to this.
Yeah, because
He also did some stealing.
back, this mesmerizing thing I was thinking of when this children. ऊपर ऊपर ही तो आता होगा ऊपर ही हाँ. So a few years back, my aunt was just coming to my house because there was a function, so she was wearing jewelry. And these two people, they just came as cops, and they said there's a murder in front. And I think we should put all this in a hanky, their jewelry, So somebody has murdered somebody on the road, and they really scared her so much. And they removed a hanky and they gave it to her to pack the jewelry. and my aunt was like so scared because they created such a scene that there's a murder there, and now anything can happen to you if you wear jewelry like this and all. Now the police is investigating and we are part of police. And they removed the hanky and they tied it up, and they acted as if they're going to put it in the bag.
And they took it on.
And they acted like this, and she actually thought it's in the bag. They're putting it in the bag, and the police and they're helping. And they zoomed off.
Yes.
And there was a beggar down there, and he said, "Gaya, aapka gaya." Like, oh God! And then she looked in the bag, and nothing was there. So quick.
Yes.
So I was just thinking of the mesmerizing.
Yeah.
And it came with papers, and then they found out that it's a big gang who was doing all this.
Yeah, the another trick they do is that if you are walking like this, then they will come and they will throw something at your cloth, which actually looks like shit.
And then clear up until then it's... Yes.
And they'll say, oh, look, your pant is dirty, somebody has put some dirt. Yes, you can wash it here. So there's a hand pump or something, so he will go and he will start moving the hand pump and he's washing. And he keeps his bag, the other person takes the bag, there are 2-3 together, so when he's washing it, the other one takes the bag and runs away. And so, oh, where is my bag? What, your bag? Oh, thief, then he runs behind him. And obviously he's not going to catch him. So the other one is running and he runs behind him. And they both run away. And in Mathura station they have the trick of giving you Mahaprasads. They mix some intoxicant in it. And they'll say, oh, Mahaprasad. So now people who are coming to Mathura, they already have some devotional mood. Nobody wants to say no. So he eats and he gets intoxicated. In fact, there was one worker, many years ago he was working. He was just a laborer, And he must have worked whole month. He saved some money and he was going to his village. And he was at Mathura station waiting for the train. So this guy comes and sits next to him. And he starts talking to him, where are you from? I'm from I'm also from that village nearby. And then they start talking and then he says, let me get some juice. And then he goes and buys 2 cups of juice. And in his juice he mixes something, he gives him, he drinks and collapses. He takes away all his money. Then when he wakes up, his money is gone. So there are so many tricks. Okay, any question?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
My question is this gopi is clearly parshads of Jiva, but I have a question that we learned previously in Mother Yashoda, she had, the Krishna and the son, she had a very strong mamatva towards Sri Krishna. But these other gopis, they have their own children, sons or daughters, and they don't have a direct relationship with Krishna as a mother. So how is it, and they also don't know that Krishna is God, to which they can say all my family members belong to Krishna. So how is it that they are not affected by the attachment to their children, to their home, and so on? How is it that the life becomes more centered towards Krishna rather than their own children?
And this is the meaning of bhakti. It's like in this material world, your attachment is in relationship to your physical body. Your basic attachment is to your own body. And then on the basis of your body, you are attached to things which are related to body. So there in Braj, their attachment is to Krishna. And then they are attached to everything else in relationship to Krishna. So their basic attachment is to Krishna, not to anything else. Yadhamar svit pranashayas tatkrite. So their dhamma, their asha, their svit, everything is in relationship tvatkrite, only for sake of Krishna. Their prana, their very life itself. So that's what was shown in the Brahma Mohan Leela, that when Brahma stole the calves and cowherd boys, then Krishna manifested himself. So when he manifested himself as cowherd boys, then these gopis, they had more love for this boy than when he was their own son. Because now Krishna came as his own son. So the love they had for this now was much more than before. That's what is described in Bhagavatam. And the cows had more love for these calves, because Brahma came after 1 year, and in 1 year these cows have given birth to another calves. So when these cows saw these grown-up calves which were Krishna, They ran to them. Generally, a cow gives up its affection to the previous calf when she gives birth to another calf. She becomes attached to the newborn one. But they were having more affection for Krishna as a calf than the newborn calf. So that is to demonstrate this, that their attachment is naturally towards Krishna. It is not that they know this is Krishna and we should love him and like that. That's why it is called Ragatmika. Ragatmika means that their very Atma is Raga or attachment for Krishna. That is their life. Just as our natural attachment is to our body. Nobody has taught this to us. It is natural. Like that they are naturally attached to Krishna.
Babaji, may I ask a follow-up question? It's still slightly difficult to understand.
Yes.
So the question is, for example, they must be thinking that he is my child and Krishna is Yashoda's son. Right? So then when they think that this is my child, and when people hear that this is my mother, this is my father, this is my child, how is this my child different for them and different for me? It seems to be, how would they think of their family members? And they think Krishna is somebody from the other household, while this is from my household. How would that go in the mind?
No, you have to understand from the example which I am giving, because you cannot understand otherwise.
Okay.
You have to understand with your attachment to your own body. So just like here in the material world, sometimes you fall in love with somebody. And when you fall in love, then for that person you're ready to do anything, if you truly fall in love. So you go beyond your own attachment to your body, although this is also material and based on material body only, but people sometimes sacrifice their own self. The parents do so much for the children. If they love the children truly, then the sacrifice, the mother would not eat herself, first feed the child, or some good thing comes, he wants to give it to the son and not eat herself. So like that you can understand. Anything else?
So I'm wondering about this point of stealing also. That if Krishna likes the yogurt, then he stole himself and not the yogurt that was given to him. So why should we then offer to Krishna and not just let him steal?
Steal from whom?
From our stocks.
From which stock? Which stock, and where is Krishna? It's not physically present. And if he is going to do that, then how will you manifest your devotion? These are Siddha Bhaktas. These are perfected devotees, and it is to explain what actually devotion is. So this is our sadhya. We are not at that platform to think like that. This description is so that we can get a glimpse of what actually is bhakti. It's very difficult to understand it. I mean, a common person will read it and only find fault and everything. That's what people do these days. These people who belong to other religion or leftists, so-called, or now Dalit movement in India, their whole job is only to find fault. So fault finding, of course, you can do, but they don't understand that people like Vyasa or Sukadeva Goswami, they must have at least little more intelligence than the Dalits and leftists and atheists. But they think that they are more smart, more intelligent than them. So they have no idea what is being described here, because they don't have adhikar to hear this. They are not qualified, they are not eligible to hear this. Dharma projita kaituvatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. This is meant for those who are nirmatsara, who are free from envy and jealousy. And these people have only that. They are only matsaratmaka. Their very atma is matsarya. So how would they understand it? It's impossible. So they will only see flaws in it. So it's very difficult to understand for those who are trying to understand it, what to speak of those who are not making an effort and only want to see fault in it. And then you can find so many faults. But that has no meaning. It doesn't make any difference to God if you find fault in it. You continue to suffer here. God is not suffering. So you're digging your own grave, okay, go ahead, do it. You'll get the outcome of your own karma. So that also people do.
And the way to know that this is an illustration of Uttama Bhakti and illustration of sadhana, not a vidhi for sadhana, would be that there's no direct statement here that one who aspires for that should be like them meaning like the gopas and gopis there. But on the other hand, there are many direct statements which say.
And there are direct statements also written to Uddhava's prayers. Bande Nanda Brajapadarenam Abhikshnasaha. So that is a direct statement. He is saying, I am worshipping. Who is Uddhava? Consider his qualification, and he says, I worship one dust. Think of what Brahma is saying. Kimapi gulmilatosadhinam. That I wanted. That is a statement. I mean, what direct statement you want? Brahma is the knower of the Vedas, and he is saying this.
What I mean is, could you maybe explain how I can know that that I should offer food to Krishna and not let him steal?
It is coming in 11th Canto. Krishna himself said, Yadyadishtama loke yaccha priyam svatmana tattan nivedayan mahyam. Whatever is the best, whatever is your desirable, offer that to me. In Bhagavad Gita it says, Yat karoti yad asnati yad juhosi dadatiyas yat tapasyasi konteya tat karo sumadarpanam.
But on the other hand, there is no direct statement that
what direct statement?
I should let him steal and just
steal what? Where is he to steal? I don't understand. Suppose you have money in your house and leave it open. So Krishna will come to steal, or someone else will steal it?
You can try.
How do you expect him to come and steal, and why should he come and steal? What is so great about you that he should come and steal from your house? Tell me the logic. He is not physically present here, so how will he steal it? Yeah, if you want someone else to steal it, and then think that Krishna stole it, yeah, you can do that, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. You can become a Mahatma. Well, everybody is Vasudeva, Sarvbhutasu yapasat Bhagavad Bhavamatmana Bhutani Atmani Bhagavati Savai Bhagavatottama. So you can become Uttam Bhagavat like that. And this is 10th Canto of Bhagavatam. Already 9th Canto have passed, and we have studied so much before that. If you want every verse here to stand on itself, that is not possible. You have to see everything in the context of the whole book. That's what people do. They take out one verse and then start attacking that.
Babaji, can I ask a question?
Yes.
This is about this dahi handi. I've seen this a lot in India, in Mumbai especially. They climb on the shoulders.
I did not get the fortune to see that. I only hear about it. Okay.
So the Bhagavad verse does not say it explicitly that he's climbing on the. So I'm just on the shoulders. So I'm wondering whether there is some other Purana. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that.
Yeah, there are so many other Puranas which also talk about it.
So this is based on the Puranas.
Because also he says Pithaka Ulukhala Adhyai.
Adi.
Yeah. Pithaka Ulukhala and Adi. And earlier he says Kalpitaste Yogai, various means. So you can understand all that. I mean, if he's going with his cowherd people, even if you are there, you will also think something like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he also has
Sounds like a lot of fun. His lifestyle is a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's what he wants to have, you know. Rāsa-līlā is fun Leela. This is the Leela where there is no government, no tension. You know, go to the forest, play there, come back, drink milk, eat something, sleep. There is nothing, they don't talk about that you have to do something else. So that is his Nitya Leela. One place he has kept which is free from tension. That's why no weapons, only flute. Mansi Priya Sakhi. Everywhere else God is holding something. That means there is some problem. Otherwise why he is having this chakra and this and that? In Braj there is nothing like that. He killed the cart, he killed Putana, it doesn't manifest any of this.
I want to say, Babaji, that the event is not easy. I used to try and do it. I participated in some.
Yeah.
But it was always out of our reach. Somebody would die on the top. It's very difficult to do. People throw water at you from the top, so to make things slippery, they try to make things challenging.
It's more difficult than it was for Krishna. Because he is doing the real stuff and you are imitating him.
This is true.
They're really not after the water or the yogurt, it's the prize money.
It's the money.
Prize money.
Yes. Who cares for yogurt? Okay. We'll stop.